Hello. So yeah, just watched Arachnids in the UK, the fourth episode of series 11 of Doctor Who. I say I just watched. It was actually a couple of hours ago because immediately after we watched Doctor Who, we watched Coraline and then this really weird film called Monster House, which is okay. Well, it was a journey. But yeah, so this kind of immediate after watch live reaction is just a stream of conscious thoughts and opinions about the show without any real structure or deep analysis. I don't expect that, but yeah, it was a very good episode and it was quite a spoopy episode as well. I say flat out, the spiders were done very well. Just like when they appear on screen and all the times where they're just out of shot and you can only see the legs kind of off screen. Oof, was this actually quite creepy. Um, and I think by this point we can pretty much agree that Questionable has decided to get rid of cold openings from Doctor Who, so because we went straight into the opening titles, just another observation from the previous video. Um, and yeah, I mean, again, this episode, much like the previous two, does feel structured in the same way that a classical Doctor Who serial is. I think it reminds me a lot of The Green Death. I think I'm thinking of The Green Death, the third Doctor episode. Yeah, The Green Death. Um, in that is very similar, very similar kind of opinions on ecological waste, and then that causing mutant insectoid creatures, mini beasts, not so mini. Um, and yeah, what? But I do wonder if this also means, as someone who likes very deep, dramatic, not convoluted, but ones which do kind of treat reviewers as intelligent plots. I do worry that Christian Bale has decided to basically do what Stephen Moffat did in his last series and play it very safe and easy. I hope it does kind of ramp up as we go along, but it is early days. Um, I think some of the satire was a bit too blunt, too on the nose. I feel satire is all well and good, but the execution is very much more potent and more clever and subtle as delivered. I think this has actually been a thing in sort of I don't know, I don't know if it's just the character of this incarnation of the Doctor, but they do seem very blunt and on the nose and not very subtle with their kind of thoughts and opinions and things. So it's very much straight out there being like, you shouldn't do this. This is bad. Which I mean isn't a problem, but I think when it's meant to be like the character of Robertson, the American businessman who's running as a presidential candidate. Um, I mean, I know Donald Trump has killed satire, but I think oh, I've got really fuzzy. What am I focused on here? I can't really fix this because it's a webcam, so it's automatic. There we go. Um, but I mean, well, to quote a line at you, why don't you do what normal people do? Get a gun, shoot things like a civilized person. That was very out of character and very on the nose. I mean, I know, I get it. You're correct. Americans have a gun culture problem, and they really need to figure it out. And do call us out and comment on it. But I think gotta shoot things like a civilized person. That's what normal people do. Is very too on the nose. No, it was a good episode. It was quite freaky. I got a bit. I did cringe a bit at the freakiness. And I think that's what you do want from spiders in Doctor Who. Ever so tiny disappointed that there wasn't any connection to the eight legs um, from Planet of the Spiders, but Shimble has said he's not going to make any references to classical Doctor Who for as long as he can. So I guess that's that. Yeah. Again, there's not much to say on the episode. I think a lot of my previous videos have been commenting on the production changes in Doctor Who. Ooh, I will say I do love the new graphics, the new design for the time vortex. We briefly, actually, not so briefly, we do spend at least 5 seconds on it, which is quite a prolonged period of time. Especially in comparison to sort of previous first depictions of the time vortex when they've changed in the past. Actually, it does have a kind of it does have a very high budget interstellar feel to it, and I think it was very I know it was pretty. The time vortex was pretty in this episode. I was very enthralled by it while I was on screen. Um, but yeah, not much to say about the episode. I do think a lot of my previous commentaries on the last few episodes have been on production more than episode content, and I mean, it's good. It's definitely, you know, Doctor Who through and through. Um, but I will have to see a bit more because I'm not. The direction is different and it's not completely new direction to Doctor Who because, like I said, it actually feels very much like classical Doctor Who in its simplicity. But here's the thing: the simplicity of TV back in the 1960s, the 70s, 80s worked for the time it was broadcasting. TV nowadays has evolved, and the way you portray narrative has evolved with the way that society now ingests media. I'm not sure going back to that simplistic kind of portrayal of a story is the best direction to go in, but we will see. And maybe again, it's still the fourth episode in. Um, oh, but here's the thing: can we stop using a narrative where in a series where it's not otherwise the norm? We stop seeing people talk to their dead loved ones immediately after they've died. It was really I don't know if it was weird when Sherlock did it in its last series when John saw Mary's ghost, but it was actually his consciousness and his own imagination, um, rationalizing it, because Sherlock is very stylized. But again, this isn't a visual representation to the audience of what Sherlock's thinking. It is legit what we're told John is meant to be perceiving. And again, in this episode, Graham saw what was her face? Is Grace's ghost, like, and it was speaking to her. It didn't really serve any sort of plot. It didn't go anywhere. It's not unless it's a plot twist where it turns out the ghost is actually a thing. It didn't go anywhere. And I don't. It's very much. It's the bad kind of show don't tell when you actually are just telling someone this character is grieving and not over death by using the trope of they keep seeing the dead ones everywhere. I think we need to move past that trope. It's not a very good sign of a good execution. So we'll say that. I do appreciate when sci-fi understands the square cube law, which is basically the bigger the bigger you get. Well, if you get a creature and you enlarge a creature, hypothetically speaking, as we do in a lot of sci-fi, when you get like an insect that grows to a bigger size, its mass increases by a power of 3 because your area is measured in 3 dimensions. However, the strength of the creature is measured by the cross-sectional area of their muscles, which is 2-dimensional width and length. So the bigger you get a creature, the less proportionally a creature's strength doesn't increase at the same proportion as its size. So a creature, which is why when you shrink something, it's actually proportionally more stronger because its strength doesn't decrease as proportionally as its size does, which is why a lot of small things are more withstanding to some impacts. You drop an ant off a table, it'll probably survive. You drop a human off the equivalent proportional height, and it won't, because the bigger you are, the squishier you become. So I do appreciate the fact that the Doctor Who did this whole acknowledge that in that the spider had grown to the size where it can no longer actually, breathe. Do spiders breathe? these are the big questions that Doctor Who makes me ask. Do spiders breathe? Some spiders have what's called book lungs. I could read this anymore, but this isn't a lesson on book lung, on how arachnids breathe. What was weird for me was the way that they pronounced the word Bagore. Well, basically, what was obvious was that the director told the Asian actors to say Bagore in an Asian accent because apparently you can't in an Asian accent, and then told the English actors to say Bagore in the same accent. But it's weird because they're otherwise speaking in a northern accent. I don't. When I say Bagore or Gumble or bar, I don't say it in a very. I don't suddenly switch my northern accent to an Asian accent. I still say it in my northern accent with a slightest hint of an Asian accent. The same way that if you say something in German, you will have a slightest hint of a German accent because they're German pronunciations and German words. I don't change my accent when I speak in a different language. No, I did do the two separate things. Nobody who is naturally from the north of England, from Yorkshire, when they say an Asian word, when otherwise speaking in English, they don't suddenly swap accent. But none of her family would have gone. Oh hello, would you like some bagore? That's just not how you speak. And it becomes even more weird when you have Jodie Whittaker in the exact same thing, when it makes even less sense. That was some weird direction for me that I picked up on. I was heading somewhere before I got on this tangent about accents, and I can't remember what I was about to say. Oh yeah, but I did appreciate how the dynamic between the sisters was very realistic of, well, at least a British Asian family, and from my friends' comments when they're watching next to me, pretty much every sibling, which I guess is less impressive, but it did make me smile, it did give me warm feelings. I did like the scene where the TARDIS crew became officially the TARDIS crew. That was a nice scene. And yeah, no, I mean, again, it's a nice episode. Oh, yeah, I was leading up to this point as well. Back to Robertson, the American guy. He was a very unlikable character, so I have to appreciate how the episode it didn't go the easy, predictable route of actually killing him off and how he survived. I know what's happened in Doctor Who before. We've had a very unlikable character and I'm not actually being the one who died, but it was just, I was expecting him to die in the most stupid, pointless, just we need to kill his character kind of way, and the fact he actually survived rather than having just a death simply by being the token bad guy in the episode, I did actually appreciate that. What was I about to say? I had another trail of thought as well. And yeah, no, I also appreciate how the monsters weren't actually villainous; they were simply trying to survive, and that's always a nice kind of fallback of Doctor Who to go on. Even though locking them into a room to let them die is, I wouldn't call that a particularly humane death, but I guess it is more natural than killing them. Um, yeah, I mean, I wasn't too sure why letting a spider suffocate to death was kind of in this putting it out of its misery. I actually side with the American in this case, in that it is kind of a mercy killing, but whatever. But yeah, that was my immediate thoughts on arachnids in the UK. Just before we finish off, we're going to have a quick gander at the 10-second trailer for Tsuranga Conundrum. That's the next episode of Doctor Who. Again, I hate these really short trailers. I can't really extrapolate much from them. But it's a slightly different trailer, I think, to the one we saw in the end of the episode, though I haven't actually seen it. But we will watch it now.
Where are we?
We're in hospital. Nothing to worry about.
So what's that?
I've encountered it before. They kill.
It's gonna kill us all, isn't it?
I'm trying to imagine the answer to the question. I can't quite see the solution.
They're in a hospital. Something is trying to kill them. something the Doctor said they've met before, but I reckon it's gonna be one of those off-screen meetings before rather than the return of a character. My nose is very blocked. Oh gosh. Yeah. They get into my prediction for the premise of the episode is they get into some sort of accident and they're all kind of whisked off to a hospital before any of them can really know what's going on, and then normal Doctor Who hijinks occurs. Okay, well it's late and I have an article to write for my student newspaper which I haven't written yet, so I'm going to do it now. What did you think of this week's episode? What did you think of the trailer for next week's episode? What do you think of Doctor Who's general production value? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you this time next week.